Hi, welcome to my sewing studio. This video is a part one of a three-part Sewing 101 video series. I guess we can call that. um, and in this video, we're going to get started with the supplies. We're going to talk about supplies. What do you need to get started? There's a lot of gadgets out there, and I've definitely had my experimentation with many of them. So, with that experience, I've boiled it down to the basic essentials of what you really need to get started. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing you want to start thinking about is the space that you will be sewing in. Is it your dining table or is it your kitchen table? Usually that's where people start because that's a table and a chair, and you will need a table and chair for the sewing machine. If you can, though, I would recommend getting a collapsible table, a rectangular one, so that when you start a project that you can keep it out until you're done with that project, because a lot of times the projects end up taking a lot longer than you expect, especially when you're starting out. So I would recommend flexibility in your space, a collapsible table, your sewing machine, and some sort of container that you store all the little knickknacks and sewing notions in that can be easily thrown in and stored and then taken back out quickly as well, like easily accessible. But all of the components, you should think about, oh, do I want this to be a flexible space? Is it semi-permanent or what? So start with that. And the things that I'm going to recommend are going to be really space flexible, just because I feel like, especially when I was starting, I didn't have like a carved out sewing space, and that's just kind of how it goes when you start. So, yeah, collapsible table, think space. And now we'll talk about the little sewing notions. I really like these kind of clear plastic containers that are not so deep, shallow, with the locks on them, so that this can be easily stored. And if the top fell off, then I don't have like a bunch of pins everywhere. So I think two is sufficient for the supplies that you need for when you start, and they stack. So this is always a great way to store things. I will show you a list. Here's the list. Let's see. I do want to highlight that spring clippers make life so much easier to clip threads, and you'll have a lot of threads to clip. It's probably the most used sewing supply of mine. You'll also want a pair of scissors you only use for fabric and a pair only used for paper. For threads, pick out some neutral colors to start, and you'll get specific colors as you start your sewing projects. I'll include the links to everything in the descriptions. Okay, so now let's talk about sewing machines. There are so many options out there. And I've used a handful of the more lower end, or the more affordable, I like to say, uh, sewing machines, and from all different brands. I think like all the big brands. And I just found that I like this one. This is my favorite. It's the Genome 2212. And it's just a simple, affordable machine. It's around 200, and that's on the lower end of what sewing machines can cost. And I just like it. I will say, you could really get any machine, that you want to try. I would highly recommend, if you're starting, not getting a computerized one and sticking to like the simplest analog one, because a lot of times, like the cheaper computerized sewing machines, like if one component, like one function breaks on the computer, then the whole chip has to be replaced, and it's just easier getting a whole new machine and actually cheaper. So just think about that. You want something that is inexpensive, that is good quality analog for your purpose. I mean, you don't, of course, sewing machines range from $100 to $2,000. So as a beginner, try to stay in the lower range, but get a one that you think that you'll be able to grow into, or that will grow with you for you being like an intermediate sewer. Sewist. And this one, the only thing that I don't like that I actually ordered just today is this part is the sewing table part is very small. I guess because I'm used to working on an industrial machine when you have this huge table space. But I ordered an extension to extend the sewing surface a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. It's this company that makes it custom for you. It's like $69. I'll let you know how the attachment goes in a different video. But that's the only complaint that I have, is I feel like this side is a little bit skimpy. I almost forgot about one last thing that you will need to start your sewing journey. You will want an iron and an ironing board, like a full-size one that you can use while you're standing up, not the little kind. Those don't work really. Those little like ones that you put on your bed, I think. Don't get that. Get a full-size one. And an iron, any old iron. The ironing board is collapsible. You might already have one, and it could be easily stored in any closet. So you will also need that. But otherwise, that's it. The second part of this series will be about getting to know the machine and doing some stitches, practicing the different stitches. All right, see you next time.